On that note, let's bring in Zach Dasher, who lives just outside Asheville, North Carolina in Swannanoa and is helping with relief efforts. Zach, thank you so much for joining us during what I'm sure is a very emotional time for you and everybody in your area. Can you describe what this storm has done to your community?
Yeah, so I live in Swannanoa, which is a little right east of Asheville. We border Asheville in the same area. And our little town here has just been absolutely decimated. I'm talking about not only are the buildings gone on one side of the road, the ground that the building sat on is no longer there. It's complete devastation. Lots of people lost their lives. Folks from our church that were helping rescue people out of the floods, they saw people lose their lives. We don't have a final count or anything like that yet, but yeah, it's devastating, and so all the prayers that you guys can send up and support is greatly needed. I've been in a lot of floods. I'm from Louisiana. I've never seen anything quite like this. I mean, bridges, infrastructure, it's just destroyed. Bridges that it's going to take years to build this back. Every bridge that I know of in our area just about is down. So yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, and Zach, you've taken it upon yourself to do one of the most important things. And there's a home that serves about 100 kids in your area. It's called the Black Mountain Home for Children, and the road to get to it has been washed out. So these kids are stranded. Tell us about that and what you're doing to help out.
Yeah, those guys are amazing. My wife serves on the board at the children's home. It is an incredible ministry. They house over 100 kids there. They've been around for 100 years, over 100 years, I believe. And yeah, so we're just getting support there, getting the word out, getting food, getting water to those guys. Any support, you guys can look them up on the internet. I think it's blackmountainhome.com. They would greatly appreciate it. It is an incredible ministry, but yeah. I do feel like supplies are starting to trickle in now, which is good. I'm more concerned about the long-term recovery once we kind of stabilize here, because they had a mudslide on part of their campus that took out a cabin. It took out their entire lodge. There were 35 kids I heard last night here on a mission trip that were staying at the cabins, and they barely got out in time. It was like they said within seconds they saw the ground moving, and one of the girls was like, the ground's moving, and all the 35 students ran out, and their lives are spared. Praise God for that. So there's just stories like that are coming in, left and right, and some of them are sad, and some of them are lifted up prayers of thanksgiving.
Right. Well, just looking at the images on the screen, I mean, I don't know if you've even thought this far in advance or if your neighbors have, but how do you recover from this financially? I mean, if you lose your home or your business, or maybe your employer loses their business and now you're out of a job, I mean, how do you dig out of that?
Yeah, our church is going to be, and there's several churches in the area, I mean, that are mobilizing and raising funds. Our church is swan1n.church. You can give there. There's Swannanoa First Baptist Church I know of. There's Valley Hope. There's other. So I'm hoping that the churches in this area are going to step up. I hope donations will pour in. I hope that the government will come in with a large financial aid package to help. Because here's the deal. I mean, like I said, this isn't like a flood that comes up and then goes back down and you go muck everything out and go back to work. I mean, our infrastructure has been severely damaged or destroyed, and so there's going to be a ton of rebuilding just to get commerce back, just to get to where kids can get to school. I mean, I don't know how long this effort's going to last, but I would have to imagine it would be years, just because of the devastation.
Yeah. Well, Zach, you seem like an incredible person, and we thank you so much for joining us, and send our best to your wife as well, who's on that church board doing her best to help people in your community who've been impacted by this. We thank you so much for joining us. We're praying for you and your neighbors, and we hope to check back in with you very soon. Zach Dasher, thank you so much. Yes. Absolutely. Well, as you've been witnessing, families affected by Hurricane Helene urgently need support. So you can help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. You can donate today to Hurricane Helene recovery efforts by going to redcross.org/foxforward. or you can hold up your cell phone right now to that QR code you see on your screen to donate that way as well.